Am I giving all praise unto Bashim Shah Bashim Kohakorash, the bonus unto the apostles of great millstone, and I want you brothers to be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And about everybody are coming out here to give you this truth for the grace and mercy of Yahweh. Bashim Shah Bashim Kohakorash, giving all praise unto Bashim Shah Bashim Kohakorash. It's going to be a relatively quick video based upon this article that you see here. And it's another prophecy that we see was contained within the scriptures. The apostles spoke about it, and it's coming to pass. And they're putting the legislation and the paperwork together to make it to where this is going to be a reality. And I remember when the apostles was bringing these particular things out, when I first came into this truth a little while ago, comparatively speaking to some of the men that have been pushing this truth diligently for years. What we understand is that pretty much the apostles were speaking about the concentration camps. And that was kind of like a far-fetched idea for a lot of people to conceive, understand, and accept, right? Much like the MLTB was a thing that people really didn't understand and didn't really want to accept because it was too high-fetched for them. It's too high power. But it's just another proof that the apostles are divinely inspired by Yahweh. And so indeed being divinely inspired by the Most High, they bring out truths. They bring out the reality of what's happening out here. They bring out the prophecies about what's going to happen within the future. And indeed, that's what we're seeing right time and time again. Going to show you, like the scripture says, then shall it be known who are my true prophets. So, again, like I said, they spoke about the concentration camps. I remember them speaking about the concentration camps. I remember them saying, this is what's going to be the case. I remember them speaking about these particular things, and now lo and behold, they got the stage ready for making a move on the people and putting them into the concentration camps. Now, what they do is they use progressivism and sensationalism. That is to say, Esau approaches a situation by progressing it and escalating the situation to where, you know, the average person won't even realize what's happening. The average person won't even realize the things are becoming worse and worse and more geared up to a technocracy. The average person wouldn't realize that because the progression is so iterative. Okay, the word iterative means to change, right? Slowly, okay, to make progressions, right? To iterate. That's what that particular word means. So Esau iterates. And the vast majority of the people, they can't realize these iterations, and they can't realize the goal that's at hand, which is to have everybody CHIP'd in the concentration camp, reduce the population, etc., etc., etc. So many prophecies that come to mind, right, regarding those particular things. And again, like I said, the apostles have been at the forefront of pushing that. They've been at the forefront of letting you know what the reality of the situation is, what the reality of what this life is all about, that Esau's getting ready to unleash on the people. So FEMA to send state 600 million to build migrant detention centers. That's a concentration camp. It's a concentration camp. And what you're gonna find out is the description by which these people are named, these so-called undesirables. You're gonna see it become a more broader term. And that's what I was saying with the what's the word I'm looking for? It's a particular word I used a second ago. With the progression, there's a word I used. Okay, Esau does a thing where he progresses a thing and makes it worse, and worse, little bit by little bit. Right? I forget what word I used, but what I'm trying to say is you're gonna see this description of what they deem as undesirable be expounded to include the average person. And that's why you saw the family of those migrants that are so-called in gangs, the family members that's in there, they began to encompass that particular description of undesirable. And so the ICE people, they start to make a move on it. Okay, they start to make a move on it. And that's what's going to happen to everybody. First, it's going to start with the migrants because that's what the sensationalism is all about. You know, we got to get these migrants out of here. Let's get the jobs back, etc., etc. And then the terms are going to broaden, right, to the terror and ist. And we know what the terror and ist is going to encompass anybody that comes up against the order of the world that they're trying to set up. So you go on a YouTube video, and they already started censoring the internet, by the way. Out here within England, you have to have, ID and certain things to access particular things. So they already started that. But it's going to come a situation where if you go on the YouTube, you start speaking about particular things, you're going to be made a move on. Okay, they're going to make a move on you, right? And you're going to be in that broad band of descriptions that's going to be within the concentration camps. I mean, it's already happening now. They just give you the little sensationalism so your mind can accept it. But really, this isn't about the so-called migrants. This is about a total takeover. Starts off with something that you're emotionally inclined to believe, then it moves on to you. Okay? It starts off with something that seemingly is not nefarious, and then it moves to you. To the end, the scripture says, a man shall desire to go into a city. You ain't gonna be able to. Why? Because you're going to have a total technocracy, I can never say that word, a total control state, right? Governed by the governments, man. Anyways, like I said, it's just a quick video just to speak upon these particular things. Like the apostles, they brought it out, man. The apostles were speaking about the concentration camps. Now you're seeing it come to pass. What are these other camps saying? Shalom. Shalom.